You just touched on the word barakah there, and I want you just to touch on barakah and productivity, where you see those two linked about how the barakah of just fasting and being spiritual will sustain your energy of the day. So people think about, oh, I'm fasting, I've got suhoor, there's no way I can be productive, but just understand the concept of barakah, how does that boost your productivity?
It's pretty amazing, because fasting is tough. And if you try to fast tomorrow, it'll be really hard. You're going to be dazed. You're not going to be able to focus at work. Things are going to happen. But what Allah says about Ramadan is pretty awesome. He says, يُرِيدُ اللَّهُ بِكُمُ الْيُسْرَ وَلَا يُرِيدُ بِكُمُ الْعُسْرَ. It's not a universal statement. It's actually intended within the month of Ramadan. Allah intends ease for you. In other words, the fasting in the month of Ramadan is actually easier than fasting any other time. And that's something Allah instilled into this month. It's special. So nobody's going to be able to say genuinely that they're having a hard time because of the fasting. As a matter of fact, you might even find yourself having more energy than you ever had. True. Now, if you don't find yourself having energy, then there are some other causes not to fasting. Now, what are those other causes? You're overeating at iftar. You're going to town at suhoor time. You're eating like 4 times the breakfast you normally eat. No wonder you're tipped over half the day, because you're dying over how much you ate. The other half, you're dying over your starvation, right? So a balanced diet it's a big part of how productive you are. A balanced sleep schedule is really important. People have messed up sleep schedules in Ramadan. They're not supposed to have a messed up sleep schedule. They're supposed to have a normal sleep schedule in Ramadan. So maintain these things, take care of these things, and inshallah, it's not going to be a problem. Speaking of the word barakah, the linguistic meaning of the word is of increase beyond expectation, right? So the blessing of this month is that you're going to do work as you normally do, but you're going to find it being more result-oriented. It's going to bear more fruit. It's going to be more productive than you would expect it to be. People are trying to be productive anywhere. But the believer in Ramadan is actually expecting productivity above and beyond his own capability. There's actually this divine intervention of layers and layers of productivity over and above your own capability that you enjoy the blessings of just because you're in this month.
SubhanAllah. And people talk about, for example, difficulties of the fact that now in the summer, Ramadan's coming up in the summer, it's going to be hot during the day, the Isha will be very late, Fajr will be very early. How do you just, even psychologically, overcome that sort of mental difficulty, challenging, oh my God, I can't do it, or it's going to be very difficult, I'm going to be very busy. So what do you say to that? How do you overcome that challenge?
Sometimes we tell ourselves things that we think are rational, but they're actually just an excuse. But the more you think about it, the more, so our thoughts, I'll put it this way, in cognitive psychology, there are your thoughts and there are your emotions and there's your behavior. There are 3 things: thoughts, emotions, and behavior, right? And they're almost like 3 rings that are superimposed on top of each other. So when you're thinking a certain way, prolonged periods of time, it actually starts validating your emotions. You don't feel like getting up because the thoughts have now validated your emotions. Your emotions have become inflated, right? And as a result, it's now deeply impacted your behavior. So when you want to reverse this, the first thing you and I have to reverse is our thought process. Allah made this easy. This is going to be easy. No matter what the temperature is outside, no matter how long the day is, no matter what I think is going to happen, or that I know as a matter of faith, this month is going to be easy. Now, when that happens, your attitude starts changing. Once your thought changes, your attitude changes. And once your attitude changes, the behavior becomes easy, But people, often when they ask, give me some tip I can do to make the most of Ramadan, give me something I can practically do. A lot of times it's actually, the behavior part is the last part. It's the thought process behind our behavior that has to be adjusted first. And behavior is easy. That's just easy,
Definitely. That's awesome, mashallah. Can we go dig deeper about Nouman Ali Khan's personal life, the routine? What's your routine like? What's your routine like during Ramadan? What do you sort of daily schedule if there's a typical day?
A lot of people might know I'm a very public figure, and so Ramadan is probably the most private time I have.
SubhanAllah. Okay.
So a lot of the activities that I do for the community and public speaking, I cut all that out. I don't travel, I don't speak, I try not to do anything in Ramadan. Ramadan is more for myself. Especially the evenings are more for myself. So if I do something, it's during the day. I'll teach a course or something like that just to feel like I'm still doing something. And it'll be like limited attendance. Instead of doing a program for 1,000 people or 500 people, it'll be like 20 or 30 people or something, and do it in a limited capacity, just so I'm still forcing myself to do something beyond just myself. But I do think that Muslims should balance the tip the scale should tip more towards what you want to do for yourself to become a better person, and instilling better habits in this month. And yes, if you have time to do other productive things for your community, be engaged, etc., that's great. But really, this is the month for self-improvement. Really, this is how we should look at it. And that's why you have in this passage also, first of all, it's going to be easy. It's a month of celebrating Quran. And then, أُجِيبُ دَعْوَةَ الدَّاعِي إِذَا دَعَانِ فَلْيَسْتَجِيبُوا لِي. You know, the passage turns to what you should personally be doing is turning to Allah more, right? So I ask myself, like, I mean, honestly, the way I spend any given day, not Ramadan, any given day, what could I have been doing better, right? What opportunities did I miss? Did I wake up too late? Did I rush through the prayer? Did I have breakfast on time? Did I get enough time to exercise, etc., right? And a good balanced day, if you can create balance in a day, then you can replicate that the rest of your life. And that means a good life. So to me, a good day actually translates into a good life. Wow. And a non-productive day translates into a non-productive life. Because really, at the end of the day, we recycle our days, right? A lot of our days, they go by, a week goes by and it feels like it was just a day because it's all the same over and over again, right? So if you instill certain habits on a daily basis, and this is the time to do it. Shaitan's chained up, the waswasa is gone, everybody around you is motivated. You know, Allah has given special ease to you, empowered you in ways that you wouldn't be empowered before. So it's a time to instill good spiritual habits, good personal habits, good eating habits. Eat healthy. You know, don't eat oily stuff for iftar. You know, don't eat greasy stuff for suhoor. Like, cut that stuff down. You know, get into better shape. Unfortunately, there are some statistics in Muslim countries. Some Muslims gain the most weight in the month of Ramadan, right? Which is like, I can't fathom it. I can't understand it. So for me personally, that's what it's actually essentially and fundamentally about.